Welcome, everybody, to Visualizing and Constructing a Physical Activity, a collaboration between Art 462, the History of Photography, and Kinesiology 407, Sport, Culture, and Society. My name is Chris Bolsmann.
And I'm Julia Schlosser.
Julia and I are very excited to be collaborating on this project for this semester, where we will be combining classes after week 4 for a 4-week period, where we will be discussing a range of components of my course, Kin 407, and Julia's course, Art 462. The purpose of this video is for you to put a face or a video to a name and learn a little bit about our respective selves. So you're probably thinking, well, who is this chap speaking in a slightly different accent to what you've probably heard before? Well, I'm South African, and some of you may actually recognize my backdrop behind me. This is, of course, is the wonderful city of Cape Town. And you're probably thinking, what is this weird looking, some people have called it a toilet bowl. I'd like to think it's not a toilet bowl. It's actually a soccer stadium. That's the Greenpoint Soccer Stadium, which was used in the World Cup in South Africa in 2010. I'm a sociologist of sport, so I'm particularly interested in issues of sport and how we can use sport to understand broader concepts in society more generally. For some of you, you may be familiar with the history of South Africa, and South Africa has got a long and painful history of racism, of segregation, and of what was called apartheid segregation. And I grew up and I was socialized in that society, in which I went to a whites only junior school, a whites only high school. I lived in a whites only neighborhood. I played in a whites only soccer team. I caught whites only buses, etc., etc. And being a soccer player, I, as I said, played in whites only soccer teams. I eventually got to play against black soccer teams and with black players, of course, and eventually played in black soccer teams myself. And that was a very leveling experience for me, because that meant that black people in South Africa, or black soccer players, were my equals. And the logic of apartheid was that there was a hierarchy of racial ranking, with white people on the top and black people on the bottom, very similar in many ways to what we experienced in the United States during the era of segregation, Jim Crow laws, etc. So sport has been very valuable and very important in my life and my socialization. And as a young student in the early 1990s, I was very interested in sociology, because sociology helped me understand what is going on in my society, in my country, and more broadly around the world. But using sport, my other passion as a budding professional soccer player, I combined the two passions of sociology and sport, and I, to this day, continue to write on issues of primarily race and class in a Southern African and a British, and now increasingly in a North American context. And for this reason, I'm really excited to present my component of this collaboration, the Kinesiology 407 Sport, Culture, and Society part. And I'm really excited because I've also been a budding photographer for many, many, many years, and I've attended several art courses, photography courses on campus, and that's how I got to meet Professor Schlosser, was through one of the courses she taught, and we started to discuss this collaboration. And I think at that point, I'll hand it over to my co-presenter.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. That was really great. I got a really interesting look into your background, and I think that really helped me to understand. I know a little bit about your research, but I didn't really know that personal aspect. So thanks for that. So my name is Julia Schlosser, and I come to photography, to the history of photography, from kind of 2 points of view. I come as a maker of photographs and videos, and I come as a person who's interested in the embedded meanings that photographs have. And so I'm interested in writing about photographs. I have 2 degrees. I have a MFA in photography, and I also have an MA in art history. And so that's how I came to teach this course. My personal background is not as related to this collaboration as Chris's is, but I'm very interested in fine artists, fine art photographers who photograph animals, and their when I was, coming up in school, there were a lot of people who had a lot to say about artists who photographed animals. I'm particularly interested in the relationships that people have with their pets. And when I was in school, I had a professor that said, no, no cars, no cats, and no, I forgot the last C, but the no kids, no cats, no Camaros. So the idea was that children, animals, and cars were not the basis for important art making. And so when I was in grad school, I found myself very drawn to artists who were photographing pet animals. And my thesis advisor said to me, and I remember very vividly the expression on her face. She said, Julia, you cannot write a thesis about artists photographing pets. Now, for me, that was kind of the green light. That gave me the green light to go with that topic. And so I ran with it. But so while my specific interest is not as related to sport, I am very interested in the lenses through which we'll be looking at this. So the lenses of race and ethnicity, gender and sexuality, and age and ableism. And I think that tells you a little bit about me. And I'm going to throw it back to Chris, and he's going to talk a little bit about the structure of this brief collaboration.
Thanks very much, Julia. So as Julia mentioned, we're going to be looking at 3 lenses. And when we refer to lenses, think of them as the glasses, in effect, that we're actually, the spectacles that we're actually wearing. So something to look through, to look at something and understand it in a different way. And what we're going to be doing in week 4, which is the week starting February 13, we'll be looking at gender and sports and physical activity. Think about gender, think about the various discussions around the US women's national soccer team recently won a landmark case in terms of equal pay, which is significant, and is the outcomes are reverberating around the world as we speak. In week 5, February 20th, we'll look at issues of race and ethnicity, and in many ways, sport and race go hand in hand. We can go back to Jesse Owens, we can go back to Muhammad Ali, and we can go back more recently to Colin Kaepernick. So a theme I'm particularly interested in. In week 6, February 27, we'll be looking at age and agility. And the older I get, age becomes a factor in trying to play relatively competitive level, or at a relatively competitive level of play and engagement in sports. So issues of age, but also ability. So the idea of what is a sports person, an able-bodied sports person, or somebody who is, inverted commas, not able-bodied. So we'll have a discussion around those distinctions. In each of the weeks, what you'll see is, and we'll get into that in far more detail when we get into the body of the work, is there'll be a range of presentations that Julia and I will upload for you. She will do a presentation, I will do a presentation, a video recording, and then there will be various reading matter for you to consult: the textbook, the guided study. There'll also be a discussion linked to one of the themes that we've identified. And we're excited about this is because this means that the art students and the kinesiology students will get to engage with one another across departments, across colleges, and really across campus. If we think physically, we're quite far removed from each other, and I'm super excited about that. There's also a scholarly article which you will provide a summary for at the end of each week, and that gives us a sense of where you are in terms of the literature. Have you been able to appreciate and make sense of the arguments in some of the literature that we are presenting to you? But we'll discuss that in more detail closer to the time. And finally, we're super excited about the final project, which we're going to present. We're going to ask you to present to us in a PDF format. We have a colleague in the library who's going to be helping us on the specific project. And I don't want to give too much away about the final project just yet, because it's something very exciting and something I'd like to hold, or we'd like to hold, until we get into the course in more detail. So with that, having said that, if there are any questions, any concerns, feel free to reach out to both of us or to either of us. And I'm really excited for this collaboration and this journey.
Chris, that's great. I have one question that I'll just throw out there. You mentioned a textbook. Will students have to purchase an extra textbook for this?
No, the relevant chapters are available on Canvas. There's also a link to the library copy. You can pick up a hard copy if you want, or you could access the electronic version. So students do not have to buy any additional materials. All the materials are available to you on our Canvas website.
And this will be a special Canvas website, right? That students will receive an invitation. This will be in addition to your regular course Canvas site. Do you want to say anything about that?
You're absolutely correct. If you as the student are already watching this video, that means you've received the invitation and you have already logged into the website. We will guide you through the various facets of the various parts of the Joint Canvas website, and it should be quite straightforward. But of course, if there are any questions or concerns, just reach out to Julia or myself, and obviously we'd be happy to assist and help you.
Yeah, and we're just really excited to have you guys here. We're really excited to have you participate in this, really kind of groundbreaking collaboration between the two departments. And we look forward to seeing you on the Canvas site.
Yeah, okay.